Good morning, maker friends. Rise and shine. It is going to be a fantastic day today. We are going to have a ton of fun over here at a maker studio. I really want to thank y'all for joining me today live. If you're not catching this live, if you're actually watching it on the replay, be sure to let me know down in the comments below. My name is Kerri and I run a YouTube channel called Mama Dares to DIY. I'm on all of the other social media channels as Mama Dares to DIY. So if you want to check out what I'm doing on those platforms, be sure to head on over after today's live and check that out. Y'all, it is such a fun and exciting time to be a maker. Amy has done an amazing job at bringing us super fun new stencils for the holiday season, and I get the honor to debut one of those to you this morning, and I'm really excited to do that. Let me put my coffee down. Are you ready to see what it is? Here it goes. Ah! Y'all, this stencil is called Nutcracker Review. This stencil is 8.5 by 11 inches total, so it's going to be a great size. You get 6 different nutcrackers in this stencil. Look at all the pretty snowflakes. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to show y'all what I've got planned to do with this stencil today. But if you want the chance to win the stencil for your very own, this giveaway is going to be a little bit different than what we normally do over here at a maker studio. To be entered in this giveaway, you're going to need to tell us what's your favorite dish, dessert, or Christmas treat that you enjoy making for your family and friends. I honestly have several of my favorites. I love to make something called pecan cobbler. It's sort of a love child between pecan pie and a cobbler. And y'all, it is absolutely to die for. That is one thing that I always have to make at the holiday season. So that is enough talking, y'all. I can't wait to hop onto the workspace and show you what I've got planned with this stencil. So let's get started. Okay, y'all, this is our workspace. I'll give you a closer look at this Nutcracker stencil. Look how pretty that is. Again, it's called Nutcracker Review, and you do have the chance to win this. All you've got to do is drop in the comments below what your favorite dish is to cook for your family and friends, whether it's a dessert or a savory dish. It could be a treat. I want to know, what do you love cooking at the holidays? So I'm going to use some of our gel art inks in today's project. I'm also going to use one of the foam dome brushes. Y'all love the Maker Studio foam brushes. They're so nice and stiff. And I'm also going to use a pair of leggings. I'm going to make myself a custom pair of leggings. This project would even be super cute if you wanted to make your entire family a set of custom pajamas. I could definitely see that project happening. You can make, for the top, you can put all of the nutcrackers on the top. And for the leggings, you can just pick one, or you could even randomly put them all over your leggings. But for today's project, for time's sake, I'm only going to be pulling out a couple of the nutcrackers. So for that reason, I'm going to use some blue painter's tape. You can always cut apart your stencils, but because I plan on making the matching shirt later on, I don't want to cut apart that stencil because that would just be too hard. So it's much easier to just take your blue painter's tape and simply tape off the areas that you don't want to get gel art ink in. So I've got a sheet of poster board, and I just used my ruler and my cutting wheel, and I just cut that a little bit larger. It's about 1/2 inch larger than my legging. If you're working with a stretchy fabric, you have to think about if your fabric is going to stretch naturally. So if it is, you don't want your image to be distorted. So that's why you want to put some cardboard or some type of foam board underneath it so that it will kind of stretch it out a little bit. You don't have to stretch it out much. Just think about when it's on your calf where it would hit. So let's open up this stencil and get started. Now, if you have never used our mesh stencils before, you are in for a super fun treat because unlike other stencils, these stencils are actually going to stay together in one sheet. All of your white part, that's going to be what is going to be your paint. Also be sure when you open up your stencil to save your packaging and also your backer board. So I think for my leggings, again, I'm putting this on the outside ankle area. So when you open up your leggings, make sure don't put them on the wrong side. So just double check before you start. And you can see how much I have stretched out these leggings. My foam template is just a little bit larger on either side. So I want to use these two. I want to use this one, and I also want to use this one. They're similar in that they are both on drums, but they are both just slightly different, but they're a little bit the same. So that's why I've decided to use both of these. Now I'm not going to take the entire stencil off yet because I don't need to. If you want to, you can definitely do that. But I'm going to attempt to leave it on. Well, actually, it may be easier to just take it off. Let's just take it off. Change of plan. So this looks like it's in the center. Let's make sure. The great thing is if you don't like where you place this, guess what? You just pick it up and you move it to where you do want it. I do want this to be in the center though. And I'm going to flip this over. So my seam is actually in the center here. So this looks pretty good. And I know it might be a little bit hard to see with it being on black. So just bear with me here. Now I don't want any of my ink. Whoops. I am all thumbs today, y'all. I don't want my ink to get onto this little guy when I'm using my big pouncer. And I also don't want where it says a Maker Studio. I'm using the fat pouncer brush and I don't want any of that to be on there. So I'm just going to put a little bit of tape over that area as well. When you're, oh, I've got a little bit of tape on that stencil. Let me just pick that up. Now, when you're working with your stencil, you want to make sure that you burnish it in. And by burnishing it in, that just means that you need to rub really well so that every piece of your stencil sticks. Actually, I'm going to use a piece of this tape and just cover up this little edge because I think I want to get that little dot there. I know this looks a little bit crazy at the moment, but y'all, it's going to be super cute. Wouldn't this be adorable as matching pajamas for your entire family? And when you use your mesh stencils, all you've got to do is wash out your stencil and reuse it for another project. So I want to go with a black and white theme. After I take my stencil off and the white dries, I will go back and add a little bit of gold and silver onto the black because I think that would be really, really pretty. So I'm just going to take some of my gel art ink. And y'all, for my paint palettes, I just like to grab some of these glass plates from the Dollar Tree. So let's load up our foam brush. When I work with fabric, I really like to use the foam brushes. When you're working with your fabric, you don't want to scrape it because sometimes if your stencil is not adhered really, really well, you might get a little bit of seepage. So for me, a foam brush works best. And y'all, look how easy this is. I might should have put a little bit of tape down there. Let's do that real quick. I don't want to get tape onto my leggings. If you're just now joining us, welcome. If you want a chance to win the stencil, don't forget you do have that chance. All you've got to do is share with us your favorite holiday dish that you like to make for Christmas and the holidays. When you're working with your gel art ink, you really need to make sure that every piece of that stencil is saturated with your paint. You don't have to worry about it bleeding through, because guess what? That's why we've got our foam underneath it. Okay, are you ready to take it up? Was that not the easiest thing you've ever seen in your life? So let's take off our painter's tape first. If I had my sweatshirt, I actually would have enough time to do the matching sweatshirt. But y'all, you would do the sweatshirt the same exact way. I want to go with a white sweatshirt, and I want to do the nutcrackers in black, and then I'll go back and do the same thing with my accents of the gold and the silver. Look how cute that is. Now I am going to go ahead and wash out this side of my stencil because I don't want my paint to dry in there before I move on to the other leg and do it with this other nutcracker. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this stencil down into my bucket of water. I want to pick this up so you can have a little bit closer look, and you can see here I didn't quite have my stencil saturated enough with my paint. And y'all, don't worry, this is totally fixable. Once my stencil dries, I'm just going to simply put it back on. I'll line everything back up, and I'll just touch up that little piece of his arm. It is totally fine. Don't think you have messed it up. It is totally fixable. So next, that's probably way too much gold. I just want to go in with my gold and my silver, and I just want to add in some little details. I've got some really fine bristle brushes, and I just want to add in some of those details. I'm also going to go ahead and drop my foam brush down into my water because I don't want that to get dried up either. It's always good to have your water set next to you while you work. Just think of all the different color combinations that you could do with this. It would be really pretty to do really bright colors. Think about like a turquoise and a pink. I think that would be super pretty. There's just so many things you can do with this. I also think it would be absolutely adorable to do a matching pair of socks. I'm normally a flip-flop girl, but in the wintertime, I love me a good pair of socks. And if they have nutcrackers on them, oh my goodness. That would be right up my alley. And y'all, just pick out any details you want to highlight. I love black and white and gold and silver. That's one of my favorite color combos. What do you see yourself doing with this stencil? I cannot wait to see all of the other stencils that Amy unveils for us for the holidays. Y'all, it is such a fun and exciting time to be a maker, isn't it? Don't forget, you've got the opportunity to win this stencil for your very own. Just let us know down in the comments below, what do you enjoy making? What's your favorite dish for Christmas? Next, I think I want to highlight his little, what do you call these little things for your drums? Drumsticks? Clearly, I need more coffee this morning. And I am going to go ahead and do the piece, even though I'm going to go back and do a little bit more of the white after this is done. But I do want to go ahead while I've got my gold out and just put a little bit on there. Isn't that pretty? The gold and the silver gel art inks are so nice. They're super thick, and the metallicness of both of these colors really comes through. So let's highlight, let's see, I'll highlight the little drumstick in silver. And maybe some things on his hat. This is so precious. If you're just now joining us, this is a pair of leggings that I have stenciled onto with our brand new Nutcracker Review stencil. It's so pretty. I'm doing a pair of leggings, and I'm going to do a different nutcracker on each ankle, and then I'm going to make a matching sweatshirt. I won't have time to do that in today's video because I am limited on time, but I will be doing that later on. Let's see what else I want to highlight. Let's do a little bit of his hat. Not a lot, just a little bit. Now I think I'm going to stop before I get too carried away. I have a tendency to do that. I really love the simplicity of this. I think the matching sweatshirt with all 6 of these nutcrackers is going to make an adorable outfit for the holidays. What do you see yourself doing with this Nutcracker Review stencil? I would love to know down in the comments below. I cannot wait to get the sweatshirt done. If this is going to be a super fun outfit for Christmas time, don't you think? What are you going to do with this stencil? Let me know down in the comments below. Y'all, that is it. Can you believe how easy it is to make a custom pair of leggings for your very own? It is so much fun and so easy. And even though this was my very first time to try this, you saw how easy it was to do. You can do it too. What do you see yourself making with this Nutcracker Review stencil? I would love to know that down in the comments below. And don't forget, you've got the opportunity to win this too. All you've got to do is to tell us in the comments, what do you enjoy cooking for your family and friends for the holidays? Give us the recipe. Tell us what it is. We want to know. What do you like cooking? Do you like desserts? Do you like treats? Let me know down in the comments below. Also, don't forget to let me know, did you watch this live or are you catching it on the replay? I've got to run for now, y'all. That is all we've got time for. My time is up, but I really want to thank y'all for hanging out with me today. Until next time, happy DIYing, y'all.